Really, the main point of this video is to talk about this stand here that I designed. It's designed really for anything up to a 16th scale. Mainly though, the widest you're gonna wanna go, obviously, is the width of the Mini B. I just sauced the tires, don't mind that. I like to let them sit overnight and cure. Fit your Mini B pretty exact. So I will be working on getting these up onto Amazon. Again, just sold as a generic part. If you've seen any of my other shorts, everything I do right now is just sold as a generic. But it does have, or will have rather, two little pads that will be TPU. So I will be printing those out and putting those on there as well. But it does come with like a little shock rebuild station. It's pretty exact fit for the size of the shocks. So at least will fit the stock shocks. I've been racing these in the Mini B mod class, and honestly, with proper shock oil in them, this car handles fantastic. I did put a different grease in the rear diff, but it's kind of washed out now. It doesn't really do much. But in regards to these shocks, I mean, again, they're kind of a pain in the butt to rebuild because they unscrew from the bottom. So if you look in the user manual on these, it'll tell you how to rebuild them. But it says to use super lightweight shock fluid. I mean, you're talking, 22.5, I think, is quoted in the book. But I've been running 45 in the front and 30 in the rear. And that seems to be a very good setup for carpet racing. You can get that inside front tire up off the ground a little bit and really burn through some of the turns at high speeds, especially down at the end of the straight. But with the way this car is currently set up, I do a lot of racing down at RC Madness, and I was able to turn a 14.6 yesterday on the current layout for the track with this car, and I immediately stopped driving after I heard the lap counter spit that out. It was quite a surprise because just a couple weeks ago with this car, I was only able to do like a 16 or a 15.8. And then, later on, I was pretty consistently getting 15.3s, 15.2s on the track. So I feel like that's pretty damn quick for one of these little cars. And then this is just, I'm sure you can see this. This is an intake duct that I redesigned and printed out. The body was a little messed up, so I had to use some of my own reinforcement there. But it held up to a bunch of crashes yesterday. I got smacked around by some 10th scale cars, and it held up all right. And the thing I'm nervous about with impacts are these shocks still, because they're plastic. But, I mean, I've sent this car flipping quite a few times on that track. And, again, it being carpet, it is a little bit more forgiving. So, yeah, that was a pretty good fun time yesterday. So we'll be racing these again tomorrow night. They do it every Thursday night there at the track. They just do a bunch of racing for the mini cars, all the way down from, the micro Bs up to the mini Bs. They also race the LC12s, which is definitely a car I want to get into. I mean, those are really, really cool looking cars, and they look like they handle fantastic. But yeah, I've been running stock tires too, just with tire compound on them. I'm not going on the track with the tires wet as hell. So that's why I'm letting them sit overnight. They might not be as grippy if the compound were fresh, but I'm not trying to ruin the carpet and make it difficult for other people who aren't using compound. But I might just have to upgrade to those mini pins and get some of those. I think it's another Proline tire, but they look like the Schumacher staggered. So I don't know. I might have to grab me some of those soon. But I haven't received any flack yet, and I think, again, it's because I'm not going on the track with soaking wet tires. The compound is well cured, and if they are wet, I wipe them off anyways. It's not like it's that big of a deal. And to be fair, those front tires get too much traction anyhow if you leave them wet on the track and try to drive them around. But yeah, so that's just a little update on the Mini.